Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 228 for you guys today. And to kick off this week's episode, I'll be sharing my NFL Week 5 game summaries. My favorite games that have transpired during Week 5 or the biggest headlines that happened during Week 5 in the NFL season. So we're going to kick things off with the Thursday night game that took place between the 49ers and the Rams. It was the 49ers that got the better part of their rivals, the Rams, winning that game in overtime by a score of 26-23. I love this game, and I love when the best of the coaches coach against each other. Talking about Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, two offensive geniuses. But this was a really good game, and it was the 49ers that found a way to win this game on the road. I mean, you had the 49ers trying to overcome a lot of adversity with all the injuries that they've been going through, and this was a big game for them. They didn't have Brock Purdy, their starting quarterback, who I'll talk about later on in today's episode. They have Brock Purdy. We know Nick Bosa is unfortunately out for the rest of the year due to a torn ACL. George Kittle, their tight end, is still on injury reserve. And they went to SoFi Stadium without their top three wide receivers, and they somehow, some way, still found a way to win this ball game. I mean, Mac Jones played really well for the San Francisco 49ers. At the end of the day, guys, I think it was the Rams that beat themselves in this game. And what I mean by that is the Rams had two costly mistakes. One that happened towards the end of regulation, where the Rams had the ball in the red zone, looked like they were going to have the go-ahead touchdown to help them go to 4-1. But instead, Kyren Williams had a costly fumble in the red zone, and the 49ers got the ball back. We all know the Rams got some defensive stops. They had to burn all three of their timeouts. They got the ball back. They kicked the field goal to push the game into overtime. Then when the game gets into overtime, the 49ers have the lead. Yes, I get Sean McVay thinking you play the game for the win, not to play the game for the tie. He didn't want to end up like the Cowboys and the Packers in Week 4. But as I digress, that 4th-and-1 play call sucked. And he admitted it sucked. I just felt like you could have came up with something more creative, game on the line. I felt like there's no problem running the ball, but make it a better play selection than that, just running it up the middle. With that 49ers defense, they got the stop, and that was it. So I felt like the Rams, if they cleaned up on two of those mistakes that I just said, they could have easily walked out with a home victory. Well, it looked like an away game for them. But as I digress, they could have walked out of SoFi Stadium 4-1 rather than 3-2. But they're going to be very pissed off coming to Baltimore this weekend. So they're going to have vengeance on their mind. Next headline. How about them Dallas Cowboys? Now, my Dallas Cowboys did beat a winless New York Jets team Sunday at MetLife Stadium. But hear me out. While I was really impressed with the Dallas Cowboys' victory is, yes, the Jets are 0-5, the only winless team in the National Football League right now. But the Cowboys' offense just flowed the entire game. And I don't give a damn who you play in the National Football League. If you're without your 4 starting offensive linemen, it's going to be a hard day in the office for you. It wasn't a hard day in the office for Dak Prescott and company offensively. I mean, 3 guys that I can't even name all 3 of their names, to be honest. 3 out of 5 of the people that started on the offensive line were undrafted free agents starting their NFL careers. And Dak Prescott finished the game without being touched. No stain marks or anything on his jersey. A clean white jersey that they rocked at MetLife Stadium, and he rocked out of MetLife Stadium. But the Cowboys offense, guys, they're a top 5 offense in the league. We got to acknowledge that. I mean, the offense just flowed. Dak Prescott, no CeeDee Lamb again, no problem. No KeVontae Turpin, no problem. We still balled out. And Dak Prescott had 4 passing touchdowns. I mean, the passing game looked good. Javonte Williams looked good in the running game. The offense just played with a lot of confidence. And I got to say, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, this win made me feel pretty good. Plus, the defense actually showed out. I mean, yeah, you could count the points at the end of the game, but really until garbage time ended the 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, when we started playing zone like Matt Eberflus likes to run, we had the Jets all confused and discombobulated. The defense was playing well, getting sacks, playing with confidence. This is the best I've seen the Cowboys play defensively all year long. Minus you could say that Week 1 game against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that was like a welcome back to the league with getting reps under your belt. But the Cowboys look good in this game, so I got to acknowledge that. Next headline. the Texans smashed the Baltimore Ravens on the road by a score of 44-10. Now, the Ravens suffered an embarrassing home loss here against the Houston Texans, and the injuries have been depleting for the Baltimore Ravens. But to be fair, the Ravens defense did play horrible and before all these injuries happened. I mean, the defense couldn't stop a cold, and that's one of the biggest reasons why they are 1-4 right now. Very uncomfortable at 1-4. But I don't know what anybody else was expecting. There was no Lamar Jackson, no Roquan Smith, no Marlon Humphrey. Like, they are depleted with injuries, and the offensive line really isn't that good either. And right now, their defense is on pace to allow 600 defensive points this season. If things don't change, if they miss the playoffs and the play continues like this, how the hell is John Harbaugh going to be able to come back next year? Big question, a big storyline to follow in Baltimore. Oh, next game, the Broncos defeated the Eagles by a score of 21-17. Excuse me. Now, this was a really good game between the Eagles and the Broncos, and it looked like the Eagles were going to put away the Broncos very early because of how the offense flowed in the first half. I mean, the Eagles' offense looked really good passing the football. I mean, they got their playmakers going, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Jalen Hurts really looked good, but then the Broncos turned up in the second half on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, the Broncos defense held the Philadelphia Eagles offense 2 for 11 on third down conversions. They got 6 sacks. They were getting home to Jalen Hurts and the Broncos scored 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to pull out a tough road victory against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions of the Philadelphia Eagles. But this is where I'm going to nitpick the Philadelphia Eagles, because even though I just said Jalen Hurts did look good throwing the ball, I have a lot of question marks for this offense. They are 4-1. The Eagles' offense needs to be fixed. They're missing Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator, more than ever. And maybe for anybody that disagrees with me, maybe Shane Steichen was the only guy that really knew how to really lead Jalen Hurts to success as his offensive coordinator. Because there's just so many question marks right now in this offense. I mean, the offense is not built for Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 38 times a game. Why is Saquon Barkley one of, if not the best back in football right now, only getting 6 carries in this ball game? Only 11 rushing attempts total in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And I can't understand why A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are frustrated. They must have gotten that offensive coordinator's head to just throw the ball all game long. But you guys look at the routes that A.J. Brown runs. He's only running slant routes, under routes, and sluggo routes. They need balance. You got the talent. You can pass the ball. You can run the football. You don't got to get aggressive just doing one. Why not just balance out the play calling so everybody can be happy in that Philadelphia Eagles offense? But I think what they're missing is balance on the offense side of the ball. And if you guys have been following the podcast, I told you guys this Eagles team was going to be good, but they were going to struggle early offensively. They're going to win the games, yes, but they don't have an identity. They don't know if they want to run the ball one week. They don't know if they want to pass the ball the next week. I mean, receivers aren't happy. Like, this is not a really balanced Eagles offense right now. It's going to take time, but you can tell they're really frustrated on that side of the ball. Next game of the week, in my opinion, was the Bucs and the Seahawks. Now, not only was this the best uniform matchup of the week between the Bucs and the Seahawks, but it was the best game, in my opinion, of Week 5 between the Bucs and the Seahawks. I mean, it was a good quarterback duel between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, 2 former first-round picks in the 2018 draft. They'll always be linked together in their NFL careers, especially for the time they spent with the Carolina Panthers, where it was Baker Mayfield that ran Sam Darnold out of town in Carolina. But both of them have turned their careers around for the better and not the worse. And both threw for 300 passing yards, several touchdowns in this game. Sam Darnold unfortunately had the costly interception in the closing moments of the game, under 2 minutes to spare, trying to run the 2-minute drill, and he was picked up by Levante David, which opened the door for Baker Mayfield to have his 4th game-winning drive of the year. Guys, I think Baker Mayfield is the clear candidate to be the MVP this year. I mean, 4 game-winning drives to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers start at 4-1. This was an incredible game, but I got to give my flowers, and I got to give the credit where credit is due to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for pulling out this victory on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, next game, you had the Commanders defeat the Chargers by a score of 27-10. Now, the Commanders defense balled out Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers on the Chargers on the road. But the Commanders defense, they won this game 27-10. Big statement victory on the road. I mean, I know the Chargers offensive line is depleted right now, but you got to give credit where credit is due. The Commanders defense played good. 5 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for losses, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. It doesn't get much better than that for the Commanders. Oh, now this was a headline that took place yesterday, but I added it in my notes. Let's talk about Joe Flacco quickly getting traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, they had no other choice, the Bengals, to save their season at 2-3. If they want to be competitive by the time Joe Burrow could possibly come back, this was the right answer. Now, Jake Browning, their backup quarterback, was not the answer at the quarterback position. He was holding the Bengals back, and I think they have one of the worst offenses in the league due to the type of production that he's produced at the quarterback position since Joe Burrow has been out and sidelined. So you don't trade for Russell Wilson. You don't trade for Jameis and Winston. You trade for another veteran, Joe Flacco. Interesting AFC North trade. The Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Now, Joe Flacco ain't the same guy he used to be. But you might get that type of veteran spark out of Joe Flacco here because he's playing with the best wide receiver duo in the league in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Plus, they still have Chase Brown, a really good young running back in that offense. This could be interesting to see how the Bengals play from here on out. Sunday night game, you had the Patriots defeat the Bills by a score of 23-20. Now, I was very proud of the Patriots winning this game on the road against the Buffalo Bills. And if you guys remember, the New England Patriots are actually going to be my pick to win, or not win, but be one of my surprise picks for the year in terms of team success. But I'm very proud that they won this game on the road against the New England Patriots. Stephon Diggs had a huge revenge game against against his former team in the Bills. Had 10 catches for 146 yards. He was truly unstoppable against that Bills secondary. Both quarterbacks played well here. Drake May and Josh Allen played well in this ball game. The Patriots looked really good at 3-2 under Mike Vrabel. They've been drafting well. I mean, they had some really key free agents that they brought in during the offseason. Are they a contending team in the AFC? I don't think you could crown them that just yet. But they're heading in the right direction. And I think the way how the AFC is playing out, there's a chance that they could lock up the 6th or the 7th seed in the AFC East. I still think the Bills win this division. But I think brighter days are coming for the New England Patriots as they try to piece together everything from their dynasty years of Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick. And to close out the segment, the Monday night game that shocked a lot of people with the Jaguars defeating the Chiefs by a score of 31-28. Now, this was a really good Monday Night Football game between the Chiefs and the Jaguars. I think it overexceeded my expectations. I didn't think the game was going to be this damn good. But both quarterbacks played well in this game. Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence played absolutely spectacular. Well, not spectacular, but very well in this game. And the Jaguars looked like they were cooked, down 14-0 in this game. But it was that huge pick six. As the Jaguars came back and they gained momentum, that huge pick six by Devin Lloyd, I really think that pick six really gave the Jaguars belief that they could win this game. And that helped them even build even more momentum towards victory in this game. But Trevor Lawrence was not perfect in this game, but he was clutch when he needed to be clutch. He had great passes in clutch situations, that deep pass downfield where he threw the ball to Travis Hunter. Trusted his young receiver / DB to make a big play in double coverage. De'Ami Brown had a big catch downfield. Brian Thomas, that connection that Trevor Lawrence had for 35 yards down the field. But Trevor Lawrence getting up and scoring the rushing touchdown in the red zone in the closing moments of the game, which was the go-ahead touchdown, was the icing on the cake for the Jaguars to win this game. And let's talk about effort, because the Chiefs defense didn't even try to really get after Trevor Lawrence, and especially Chris Jones, who had a lot to say after that game, but was really looking like he was walking, not making an effort to get Trevor Lawrence where he fell on the ground and then rushed into the end zone for a touchdown. But the Jaguars, guys, they're 4-1. that is a shocker to me that I'm going to get into in a few moments on this episode. But the 4-1 picked up a big victory against Monday Night Football. They had big victories against the Texans. I mean, the Texans are 2-3, but I still consider that a big win, considering the fact they still have a really good defensive unit. And it's not over for them to turn things around. So I'm going to claim that as a big win for them. The 49ers, they're the only team that beat the 49ers this year. And now the Chiefs. So I think the Jaguars are heading in the right direction. But that is my NFL Week 5 game summaries, and my NFL Week 5 headlines of the NFL season.